And another warm one today. Temperatures in the upper 80s. Some folks would say it's hot, although again, it doesn't feel as hot as it can in the summertime because the humidity levels are still pretty low. Tomorrow, a little bit of an uptick in humidity, but still not looking like a bad day. As we take a look at the satellite and radar again, lots of sunshine across the area once again today, but you'll notice already starting to see some showers off towards the north and west. And as we widen the view, this is the first part of the same system that caused all the severe weather in the central U.S. yesterday. Now watching once again for the potential for some strong thunderstorms, mainly through areas of Arkansas, at least through the next few hours. And we have another severe thunderstorm watch box posted here through parts of Kansas and into Nebraska. But again, this is the same system that will affect us this weekend, giving us a chance at some showers. Not looking at severe weather, and we're not looking at a total washout this weekend, but we are looking at some wet weather rolling in, especially as we go into late Saturday night, and into Sunday. So as we time things out here through the rest of the evening, clear skies, temperatures in the 80s. Those southwest breezes will continue. So again, not too bad out there through the rest of the evening. Temperatures in the 60s by 11 o'clock, and we'll start the day in the 60s tomorrow. Southwest winds continuing, gusting over 20 miles per hour. Lots of sunshine through the day. Temperatures once again climbing into the upper 80s to near 90. We're going for an official high of 89 degrees tomorrow. Once again, partly cloudy to mainly clear skies tomorrow night. Temperatures in the 60s, and that's where we'll start the day again on Saturday. But notice a few more clouds starting to work their way in on Saturday. The bulk of the first half of the day and even into the afternoon likely dry. But as we get into the later afternoon, we'll call for a few isolated showers here in Hampton Roads. A little more scattered, meaning more of them, especially in western or northern parts of the area, and they'll likely spread over top of Hampton Roads Saturday night and into the day on Sunday. But clear skies right now, temperature coming in at 88 degrees, humidity only 32%, giving us a dew point of 55 degrees. The dew point a much better indication of how it feels out there. We're talking about dew points in the 70s. We're talking about oppressive and tropical, but right now we're at pleasant levels at 55 degrees. You really start to feel that humidity once the dew point gets up back closer to 60. Everybody else in the 80s, just about 190 up there in Tappahannock, a 75 in Tangier Island, 76 in Manio, 90 in Williamsburg, 89 Portsmouth, 78 down along the Outer Banks in Duck and Kill Devil Hills. So for tonight, we're calling for mainly clear skies, 65 degrees, breezy and mild, 89 tomorrow, mostly sunny, hot, 64 tomorrow, breezy and mild, skies becoming partly cloudy, and then isolated showers on Saturday, possibly scattered, meaning more of them towards the north and west. But notice those temperatures on Saturday, 78 degrees as winds switch around towards the northeast. A little better chance for some scattered showers on Sunday, high of 77, and a few isolated showers possible again on Monday, but temperatures in the 60s for highs. Same thing on Tuesday with partly sunny skies, mostly sunny and 71 Wednesday, partly sunny and 74 on Thursday.